Now I got Guy doing the air squats too. Look at this. Folks, if I do 10 air squats before every show, gets the juices flowing, now I got everybody doing it. If you do, I watched this Dr. Rhonda feed on Twitter, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's really good with life hacks. She says, if you get up every hour or so and do 10 air squats, assuming you have good knees and you can and everything, that over time it has a real substantive effect on your body. That sucker works, man. Gets the juices flowing, everything. Even got Guy into it. But dude, it works. It clears your brain right up. You don't have to do a ton of them, man. Just bang those suckers out. So the best shows sometimes are the most unintended. And I did not yesterday intend at all to speak about this Karl Rove piece, if we should slow the winning down or speed the winning up and take some victory laps. But it turned into this 4-hour debate. It was great. But now you're seeing why the Rock'em Sock'em robots flood the zone, keep the winning going at a rapid pace is working. Folks, just a few months ago, we were told that, if Trump wins, he's going to have a really hard time in the Senate. There's going to be all of this Republican resistance to all his nominees. And yet, what happened? Folks, Matt Gaetz left himself. He departed. That was it. Everything else has been, relatively smooth sailing. Hat tip to the Republican Senate for getting it done. You're always going to get your Murkowski and Collins holdouts. It's to be expected. We've seen what they do, but we got cash through. So now you are going to see what real change is like. It's happening everywhere. It's happening so fast. It's like a celebratory moment that just never ends. It's like every morning you wake up and it's like, what's that thing they have, like Boxing Day, right? In the UK, is that like 5 days after Christmas or whatever? I don't know. I only celebrate Christmas, but it's like Boxing Day every single day. It's like Christmas Day and then it's Boxing Day 2 and then Boxing Day. Now we're like in Boxing Day like 32, 33. You think that's funny, Tyler? We have a guest in the studio today. For those of you who have not seen my studio, I got to see it for the first time yesterday. Tyler and his crew here. What's the name of your company? Hammercraft is a company. They built my... Tyler blew it up and absolutely crushed. Wait till you see my studio. Guy did a little video of my first reaction. Avita's seen it too. I would do the Karate Man, but I got to save it. I'm telling you, this studio is sick. Guy, is it crazy or what? You're all, some of you guys, especially the McGroin crew, you guys are coming. We're going to have a big... Can you put it in? All right, Guy's going to put a picture of the phone. All right, let me get to the show because I got so much to talk about. Cash is happening. It's going down. Reform is happening everywhere. It is just the golden age of Republican politics via MAGA. Thank you, President Trump. This podcast sponsored by Beam. Go to shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for 47% off your first order. Get some sleep. Also brought to you today by Lumen. When your metabolism's working properly, you can feel the benefits in literally every aspect of your life. I found a valuable tool that helps give me insight to create and improve metabolism for my body. It's called Lumen. Lumen's one of the world's first handheld metabolic coaches. It's a device that can help measure your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and provides tailored guidance to help you improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and stress management. All you have to do is breathe into the Lumen first thing in the morning, and it does this. It'll analyze your metabolism, indicating whether you're burning fats or carbs. It's important. Then Lumen, Lumen, gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day based on your measurements. Take the next step to help improve your wellness. Go to lumen.me/Bongino to get 20% off your Lumen. That is lumen.me/Bongino for 20% off your purchase. Thanks, Lumen, for sponsoring the episode. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. They're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. All right, fellas, on this Friday show, get that Friday bell, the best bell of the week. Listen, man, I love doing this show. It's not a real job. Tyler's got a real job. This is a fake job. This is fake. I just talk for a living. You all, people, look at the studio. Look at that. Look at the studio. Who is that, Michael? Get him off the screen. Michael's way too handsome. Makes us all look ugly. Get him off the screen. Put someone else in there. Put me or Guy in there. We can't put Michael on this. Look at this guy. Look, this guy they're looking for a new James Bond. Everybody in the chat. Should we do Michael? Should Michael be in the running for James Bond? And he's like 7 feet tall too. Look at it, and you got me. Look at this. This is why the audio does almost as well as the video. People are like, I can't see Bongino anymore. I can't see it. I'm serious, man. You can't put him in the picture. You see that studio is crazy, though, isn't it? Wait till you guys see what it's going to look like. We hopefully, Guy, what are we, like a week or two away, max? Yeah, we have to be, because if we don't get out of this studio soon, you don't even want to know what's going to happen. And this thing is totally falling apart. So cash is back. Even CNN had a report on it. So Claire Foran and Morgan Rimmer from CNN had to write this piece. You imagine how much this hurt? Senate confirms Kash Patel as FBI's new director. Yes. This is the Kylo Ren Moore theory of politics. More. Just keep it coming every day. Folks, I want to, on a very serious note, thank you, because the Republican Party did what they had to do. We're spreadsheets people, correct? We do not get emotional. When the Republican Party does bad things, we talk about the bad things and try to correct them to get them to be plus ones rather than minus ones. But when it's a plus one, you can't keep, what do they say old stupidly? You can't beat a dead horse. Well, you can, but the horse is dead. It doesn't make any sense, to constantly just, when they do something good. Thank you for getting Kash Patel through. And we didn't even need a tiebreaker, a tie-breaking vote from Vice President J.D. Vance. We didn't even need it. So you guys did that. I will make no mistake. You guys and ladies out there in the Bongino army, in Bannon's army, Charlie Kirk's little army out there, we're all, not little, I didn't mean it that way, but we all kind of cross-pollinate each other's shows. You guys did it out there. You guys got it done. And thank you very much. Folks, always do what? Always measure the effectiveness how? Folks in the chat, chime in. It's your show too. Always measure the effectiveness of what you're doing. Why is Paula texting me during the show? Hold on. She's sending me a picture of me in the studio. She says, you're so cute, and it's date night too. Paula, you're very distracting right now. Tyler's like, what the hell did I get myself into sitting in on this show? Guy invited him to come up. I said, big mistake. Big mistake. When you're here, right, Guy, what are the rules? We should put a sign on the door. You're part of the show no matter what. Always, every time. Always measure the effectiveness of what you did by the response, especially of your crazy opponents like Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who absolutely melted down like you would put like one of those metals, and it just like, when it goes into like molten form, like Terminator 2, dude is losing it over Kash because they know we're finally going to get a good, solid, strong FBI again. And that's not what they want. That's not what they want. They want a weaponized political outfit, which is unacceptable. Check this out.
Judiciary Committee, what crimes it was that he was concerned about that caused him to plead the Fifth. Kash Patel, mark my words, will cause evil in this building behind us, and Republicans who vote for him will rue that day.
You will rue the day. Rue the day. Evil will happen. I love how they say that as if bad things have not happened in the building behind them for the last about 8 years that need to be cleaned up. Folks, listen, I've known Kash Patel a long time. I can tell you with absolute certainty, and there are few things in life you can speak about with absolute certainty. Even if you ask a bunch of kids if they want homework, you can't say with certainty one kid's not going to go, I'll take some homework. I need to improve my math skills. Everybody's like, shut up, improve them at home on your own. Take a Khan Academy class, whatever. I can tell you with certainty that Kash Patel is there for one reason. He is there to make the FBI great again. Folks, if we do not have a credible deterrent to spies in this country, counterintelligence, to terrorists that are planning plots here openly, some coordination entity for both transnational and interstate crime, we're not going to have a country. Kash is committed to that and that only. If Sheldon Whitehouse or these other lunatics think he's going to, pay back the favor or some stupid line like that and target them, they're out of their minds. They're making that up to turn you. Please don't. He is there for one reason, to clean this place up. He is a deadly serious guy, and he's got a mission in mind, and he's got BHAGs in his head. Big, hairy, audacious goals. Here's Senator Chris Murphy, another one. Just always gauge the effectiveness of this. But Here, can I give you kind of a counterexample before we play Chris Murphy? And by the way, I'm not suggesting at all that these people aren't good. But have you seen a similar reaction to the energy secretary? He's great. He's fantastic. But I think they understand, the Democrats, that something's got to be done about energy, so they're just leaving it alone. They are terrified over, they've spent so much time on Kash Patel. It makes you ask the question, right? Or begs the question. I hate that term. What the hell are they worried about? Why are they so concerned? Check this out.
If you vote for Kash Patel more than any other confirmation vote you make, you will come to regret this one to your grave.
No, we won't. Why are they so dramatic too? You see the drama? You will regret this to your grave. He thinks like he's in a movie or something. Last night I was bored, by the way. I watched a movie. You guys ever see that movie Sicario? I know it's been out forever. Kind of, right? I never saw this movie before. Last night, Paula absolutely is obsessed with mob movies and like drug cartel movies and like, crime movies and stuff like that. Did you guys in the chat ever see that? A pretty good movie, man. I didn't sense a lot of like wokeness in it. I don't know. It's been out forever. But is there a sequel to that? But I watched it last night. But this guy thinks he's in a movie. He thinks he's in like Sicario. They're like, cut, what's the board they called? Anybody know? I'm not a video guy. What's the clapboard or something? What are they? That's what they think they're in a movie. You will regret. No, they won't regret it. They won't regret it. They're on the record supporting him because they know he's the change agent the FBI needs. Folks, how amazing would it be in 4 years to look back with a good, high-quality, reformed FBI, free of woke culture and DEI, that goes out and is making headline big arrests of real bad guys destroying your community? How great would that be? We can all sit there and be proud again. No one's regrets anything, and no one's going to regret anything. You know who's been on fire lately? We love Maze Moore, by the way, on X. If you don't follow him, follow him. We got to share the wealth, folks, in the conservative MAGA ecosystem. It's really important. It's not about me. It's about all of us. I need you all to go to X today, formerly Twitter. Follow Maze Moore, Mazemoore. I've mentioned him before. I don't even know if it's a him or a her. Maze, you got to send me a DM. I keep saying him or her. I don't know. But really great account for video. Maze put this up yesterday. You know who is absolutely on fire with these nominees? I mean, this guy's success record is 100%. I've never seen a guy kick ass and take names like this. The success record is 100% of failing. He has succeeded 100% of the time and failed. That's freaking hard, man. That's hard. Even a really terrible major league hitter, like the pitcher, the pitchers are never really good hitters because they don't practice that much. They'll be batting like 150. That means, 150 times out of 1,000, they at least got a hit. This cat, Adam Schiff, is killing it. He has succeeded at failing every single time. Here is Adam Schiff on all of the, quote, controversial Trump nominees. Check this out.
It is up to us today to say no. No to this nomination. No to Pam Bondi. RFK is not the best or the brightest. He will not bring back Camelot or make America healthy again. Tulsi Gabbard is a walking 5-alarm fire and must be rejected, must be.
No one is a bigger or more dangerous sycophant than Kash Patel. This political hack does not deserve to be in this building.
Dude's on fire. I dig that Bailey Zimmerman music. I had a lot of pop culture references today for the show. I think it's because I'm in a particularly good mood today. If you only knew. You ever hear that House on Fire song? It's one of his old songs. This guy's on fire, just like the Bailey song. That house on fire. He is on fire, Schiff. 100% success rate of failing. Why is Adam Schiff so worried? Folks, I strongly encourage you to go back and take another look today at the Russia collusion hoax. I know it's a story that's old and a lot of people want to move on. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't want to move on. We had the FBI in conjunction with the Department of Justice, officials in Congress, foreign governments, and intel people fabricate a story, invent a story that could have caused and done serious long-term harm to international relations with a nuclear-powered foe. It's kind of a big freaking deal. I'm not letting it go. And you listen to me. This is going to be very important in the coming days. I'm not letting this go. I want to find out what happened because it can never happen again. Not to a Democrat, not to a Republican, not to a Libertarian, not to any United States citizen. You do not get to alter or try to change the course of electoral politics by fabricating a story, hijacking the justice system then to give the patina of truth to a fake story. You don't get to do that. Why do I bring that up now? Because who is the ringmaster of that circus? Yes, Adam Schiff. And no, I'm not letting it go. And you shouldn't either. Folks, the system Adam Schiff and others used to weaponize and hijack the DOJ, portions of the FBI, and the global intelligence community to combat Donald Trump and his agenda, and the American people who voted for him in 2016, was this FISA system, this Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act system, which needed some reform and still does. This is one of the reasons the Democrats are really freaked out. No one understands the system better than Kash. He's been in the government. He's been on the prosecutorial side. He has seen how our defense system works, our intelligence system, law enforcement system. He has a broad kind of bird's eye view of how all these entities tie into each other. Why is that a bad thing? It's a bad thing for the Democrats. You understand how they thrive on the opaqueness of government? That's why they hate the Doge. They don't want a guy in there who knows how the gizmos fit together to make the machine work. Because then when the gizmo breaks and they broke it, he's going to be the guy to fix it. They don't want that. They don't want any of that. They like it when everything's a dark box. Here was Kash on the Sean Ryan show. Really excellent show, by the way. Highly recommended. Discussing a while ago FISA reforms and potential abuses of the system. Check this out.
Chris Wray was caught last year illegally using 702 collection methods against Americans 274,000 times.
274,000 times.
It's not my number. It's in the report that they wrote. The FISA court wrote it. And then the FISA court, and there was this big fight about 702 reauthorization. I know it might not be appealing to your audience, but it was a big fight this year to say we want FISA reform. And FISA did need reform. We exposed it and we gave you a bunch of reforms during Russiagate, and it never got implemented. So because the budget of FISA was up this cycle, we demanded Congress fix it. And do you know what the majority in the House, where the Republicans did? They bent the knee. They reauthed it.
Why?
I don't know. Ask them. And they said, oh, no, we're just doing it for another year. We're just going to kick the can down the road. I'm like, okay, so the other year you're doing it for is an election year. We showed you how they abused FISA once already. And then now you know about Chris Wray and all these other FISA abuses. But you trust the director of the FBI, this guy Chris Wray, who went before you and said, no, don't worry. We fixed everything. We're good. And they gave him more spy powers? I can't answer that one, and I couldn't get on board with that legislative fix.
Folks, I want you to understand something. Pregnant pause was not intentional. I just want to give you a second because this is really important. People are policy within the government. People are policy. Words, constitutions, laws, and regulations are meaningless if you don't swear to your oath and mean it. I mean, there are 1,000 examples of what I'm talking about. I am a constitutionalist. That matters to me no matter what. Even at my own expense, it matters to me. You have to follow the law. If everybody just decides what law, when to follow when, it's like the four-way stop sign. Come on, most people, you shouldn't, but they roll through those. The other guy will stop. That's not the way this is supposed to work. You have a director or someone else in charge of the FBI that loosely interprets search and seizure and the Constitution, your right to privacy. Then, folks, the policy's meaningless. The person's interpreting it to mean something completely different. The Constitution is not a suggestion, period. And the man in charge of now the FBI is the director, and damn, that sounds good. Director Patel. Thank you, God. I don't use his name in vain. Believes in that document. Believes, yeah, it'd be easy to weaponize it and target your political opponents. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. That's not what we'll ever do. That's not what this party stands for. The left wants to embrace old school socialist style weaponization of government, then you own that because it ain't us. You can stick that on your damn bumper sticker because it ain't going on my car. And it sure as hell ain't going on Cash's either. Folks, the left has a real problem with civics these days. So on a lighter note, it is Friday. This may be, I'm going to play it a second, take a quick break, but I'm letting the guys, we're trying to work in a more collaborative manner to do the show because these guys have great ideas and I feel bad. So I kind of icing them out of the content. They've been putting together some really great stuff. We all think alike anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I absolutely insisted this go with it. Stephen Miller has been putting on a clinic, the deputy chief of staff from Trump, an absolute clinic on TV in the press room. Did you see him Schoolhouse Rock the press yesterday on civics? Stay tuned. This is probably, guys, if this isn't in videos of the year at the end of the year, I'll be deeply offended. Guy, just so you know, Michael, take that down, buddy. This has got to go in there. Hey, if you're a gun owner who thinks the battle's over because Donald Trump won, think again. The threats haven't disappeared. They're merely evolved. To help defend yourself and your loved ones in today's world, you should stay informed about the latest strategies. That's where the USCCA's free, expert-led in-person training classes come in. Simply visit uscca.com/class to sign up for one of these excellent classes near you. You got to be skilled and trained with your firearm. It matters. With over 50 options to choose from, you'll find the perfect fit. Some of their most popular courses include Should I Shoot and When Can You Use Force, where you can learn when it's justified to protect yourself, your family, or your home. Defense shooting fundamentals, very important, and women's situational awareness and personal safety. As a responsible gun owner, you owe it to yourself and your family to receive training from some of the best in the industry. Don't let your firearm become a liability instead of an asset. Trust me, the expert instructors at the USCCA are second to none. So don't hesitate. Go to uscca.com/Dan right now to register for a free training class in your area. Empower yourself, prepare for the worst, pray for the best. Sign up today at uscca.com/class. That's uscca.com/class. Check out some of their classes. They're really good. Hey, on that note, I'm going to get to this in a second, I promise you. But so I was watching this movie last night, like I said, Sicario with Paul. It was very good about this drug trade and this whole thing going on. And there's a scene in the movie, I'm not ruining it for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's already old, but where the Punisher guy, I don't know actors' names, the guy who acts as the Punisher, John something, and he's choking this lady. He's trying to kill her, and he's mounted on top of her and choking her, what we call in jiu-jitsu the finger choke. You know, you've seen it, you're on top of it. Ladies out there, guys too, that is the easiest choke in the world to get out of, and you have no idea how many people wind up either dying or getting assaulted or passing out because of it. Take a jiu-jitsu class or a grappling class, even if you take 2 or 3 of them, and ask them first day, can you show me how to get out of the finger choke? Because I had to do a tutorial for Paula last night. I had to, because I'm like, you're not going out like that. Little weave under the arm, buckle them right down. You got to learn how to get out of that stuff. Ladies, gents, it's really important. Just throwing that in there. You know how I like to throw life hacks in? That's one of them. Take a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Seriously. Take the intro class. It's usually free. You'll learn in that first class. Say, how do I get out of the finger choke? Okay, moving on. Stephen Miller going all-time Schoolhouse Rock on the media. Now, keep in mind, when I tell you this, I mean, the media in the press room knows how the presidency works. They're just playing dumb. They're pretending to not understand that Donald Trump is the unitary executive. He is the only figure, him and the vice president, on the ticket elected nationally, correct? For the lefties in the chat, is the attorney general elected nationally? Nope. What about the FBI director? Nope. CIA? Nope. Secretary? Nope. No. No one. Just Donald Trump and J.D. Vance on the ticket. But when you are elected by the Electoral College nationally, you appoint people to implement your policy. Here's the media in the press room pretending they don't know this, talking about the Doge, and Stephen Miller, an absolute masterclass, kicking ass and taking names. Check this out. Here he is on how the executive works. This is great. Check this out.
A president is elected by the whole American people. He's the only official in the entire government that is elected by the entire nation, right? Judges are appointed, members of Congress are elected at the district or state level, just one man. And the Constitution, Article 2, has a clause known as the vesting clause, and it says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular. The whole will of democracy is imbued into the elected president. That president then appoints staff to then impose that democratic will onto the government. The threat to democracy, indeed the existential threat to democracy, is the unelected bureaucracy of lifetime tenured civil servants who believe they answer to no one, who believe they can do whatever they want without consequence, who believe they can set their own agenda no matter what Americans vote for. So Americans vote for radical FBI reform, and FBI agents say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote for radical reform on our energy policies, but EPA bureaucrats say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote to end DEI, racist DEI policies, and lawyers at the Department of Justice say they don't want to change. What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people.
Do you see why this segment's important? Folks, forget the people in the press room, okay? The liberal media people in the press room know what Stephen Miller's talking about. That's not why what he did there is important. I promise you, there are liberals and maybe even swampy Republicans and others out there who've never heard that before. You know how I know this? Because when the media came out with their first talking point against Elon and the Doge, and they said, no one elected Elon Musk. If you follow the news like we do, I mean, it's my job. I don't know. I have a fake job. It's not a real job, but it's not. But I love politics. I will go to X and Truth and these TikToks and Snapchats, and I'll see what people are talking about. I don't want to tell you who because I don't want them to block me, but I follow liberal accounts. You can see them. They thought this was a great, great talking point because they're taking advantage of people on the left who are really ignorant of what Stephen Miller just said. You get what I'm saying? They were like, this is a good one. Tell them Elon's not elected. Nobody's elected in the executive branch except the president, vice president. I mean, no one, like actually no one. The president runs the government just like the CEO runs a company. He appoints people and hires people to do stuff. The CEO isn't paying the taxes. He may have to sign off on it, but you think he's sitting there going, what is the capitalized deduction rate on the depreciation schedule on the LIFO, FIFO area? He ain't doing that, man. The president doesn't do everything. He appoints people. The president's the BHAG guy, the big, hairy, audacious goals guy. Liberals are praying. I'm sorry to say this, folks, especially the liberals who listen to my show. I know you're there. You troll my chat, which is fine. I mean it. We're free speech people. Go right ahead. Just don't threaten anyone. They are taking advantage of liberal stupidity. Liberals actually believe, well, Elon wasn't elected, so he can't do anything, even if the Doge people are government employees. He can't? How does the Secret Service protect the president? I'm just giving you a personal example. You think the president's overseeing the security? Hey, we need a post-stander here. I'm going to be button hooking around here. Remember when you were kids playing football? You draw on your fingers, right? Remember? You'd be like, Johnny, Michael, did you ever do this? Johnny, you're going to go here. You're going to button hook. Tony, you're going to hit the fly route in the end zone. You think the president's doing that in his protection? Because nobody can do anything without the president. That's what they're saying. The Secret Service wasn't elected. Nobody's doing that. They're preying on your stupidity. That's why what Stephen Miller's doing is so important. This is like a government 101 class from the bully pulpit every single day where people like me get to go, hey, listen to this. Because I promise, after all the P1s out there, I'm sorry that I have to play for you stuff that's fairly obvious, but it's important you take that message and send it to your liberal friends. And when they say, hey, Elon's not elected, take that cut. It's not mine. It's the White House's. Take that cut and say, Elon's not elected? Say, was Merrick Garland elected? What about Javier Baccaria? Here, let me send you the Stephen Miller clip about how our Constitution works. Thank you. All right, clip coming up next is important. Folks, red pilling's happening everywhere. And I was just Evita's sitting here today, too. And I said to Evita's rubbing off on me. She knows a lot like a ton of stuff. And she really, really understands the Breitbart rule that politics is downstream of culture. Like her show, that's why her show is taken off, because she covers it better than anyone, because she's fought these fights, whether it was the vaccine at her college. I mean, Evita is 20 going on 80. And I don't mean looks. I mean, look, watch it, rumble.com/Evita. She's just been through these fights before. Rumble.com/Evita, EVITA. So she's rubbing off on me because I see these stories on her show. And I'm like, damn, I got to cover more of this culture stuff. I'm so into the mechanics of politics, 10, 10, and 10. So J.D. Vance spoke, Vice President Vance at CPAC yesterday. And this is really important what he said about this war on our young men. It is a disgrace what's happening. And I want you to listen to it because it's an extremely important message. Did I not tell you about J.D. Vance? I'm sorry. I don't really, it's not self-praise, folks. Please trust me. I've known this guy. He is a freaking rock star. This guy is probably the best political candidate we've seen since a guy named Donald J. Trump. You ever heard of him? Amazing. You ever notice he's never caught off guard? Ask him anything. Ask him anything. Ask him about how he feels about 5' 3' DNA strands. And he's like, you know what? Let me tell you, that's the one direction you read. Watch this coming up next. Last break, and we'll get right back to it. Hey, when it comes to protecting your family, it's not just about having a firearm. Lethal force isn't the answer for every situation. Imagine an imminent threat comes to you and your family. Instinct may drive you to reach for a firearm immediately, but what if there were a way to defend yourself and de-escalate a situation without the irreversible consequences of deadly force? Byrna's non-lethal pistol launcher, equipped with tear gas and kinetic ammo, can incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes. No need to go DEFCON 1. We just need protection to ensure we can defuse a situation and drive the threat away. I trained with firearms most of my adult life. The Byrna pistol they sent me, I really enjoy. It was really easy to learn to use and operate. The guys have one too. If you don't own a firearm, it's a great option to have. It's a great option to have even if you do. Made in America, legal in all 50 states, requires no background checks, and shipped right to your door. Visit byrna.com/Dan now. You'll get an exclusive 10% discount for my listeners. That's byrna.com/Dan. Check it out. You won't regret it. And our last sponsor today, MyPillow. We love Mike. MyPillow is excited to announce they're having the first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on the season's flannel sheets. Queen size, only $59.98. Kings, only $69.98. They sell out fast, so order now. Save 30% on their new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one you see around Mike's neck. He's worn it for 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get the 2025 6-piece My Towel set for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them before they go. And the best-selling standard MyPillow, which I sleep on, is just $14.98. Take advantage of the first ever mega sale. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Dan or call 1-800-637-4982. But wait, remember the $75 free shipping rule? Well, don't worry, that ship sailed. Right now, every order ships absolutely free. Shop their first ever mega sale with free shipping on every order. Once again, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code Dan or call 1-800-637-4982. Folks, one quick thing before I get back to that amazing J.D. Vance video. A little bit of blackout there. Blackout coffee. I cannot thank you enough for supporting this show. It means so much to me. It's going to make a lot more sense in the coming days as we launch more and more products on the show. I announced yesterday, not only we have the studio opening up, not only is Evita's show. Congratulations. I didn't even mention this with Evita. Evita was the number 34 show on Triton. Do you know what that means? There's like 22 trillion podcasts. Evita's show's 34. She hasn't even been doing it that long. She's talented. She's a rock star. And you know what I love? She's a team player. She said to me yesterday, hey, man, you want me to have Haley on the show? Who's Haley? If you missed yesterday's show, we're launching a new show on this network. Haley Caronia. Please give her a follow on X. There she is. She's at Haley, HayleyCaronia, at Haley Caronia. She says fiery, but mostly peaceful. You're going to love the show, I promise. We've known each other a long time. She was a producer at Fox and was a total rock star. It is going to be 6 p.m. 6 p.m. We will give you the Rumble URL. We promise. Anita, if you could put it up in the chat, her social, give her a follow on Instagram as well. She's amazing. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. You're going to love this show. It's coming real fast, I promise, really fast. Maybe by like next week, we move at light speed now. So given the success of Evita's show, we now got a model. So thanks for supporting everything we do. I'm trying to give you a whole bunch of stuff to choose from. All right. Here is Vice President Vance at CPAC on a message on the war on boys. Folks, we cannot have this. The left has been doing this forever. They have been trying to destroy the idea of strong masculine men because it is a proxy for their war on traditional, objective, big R, God-given rights values. They don't like that. I'm getting long-winded. Simple as this. They want your values coming from the state. They don't want your values from dad. They don't want husband and wife mutual respect. They want everybody weak and compliant. And the best way to do it is to destroy our boys. And it's a freaking disgrace. Listen to this.
And I think, you asked me, my message to young men is I think that our culture sends a message to young men that you should suppress every masculine urge. You should try to cast aside your family. You should try to suppress what makes you a young man in the first place. And I think that my message to young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive. But our cultural message is I think that it wants to turn everybody, whether male or female, into androgynous idiots who think the same, talk the same, and act the same. We actually think God made male and female for a purpose, and we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
Leah Hunt says in the chat, this guy's top notch. Who is it? Isabella, I love masculine men. Hey, good. Listen, could Donald Trump have made a better choice? Could he have made a better choice than Vice President Vance? No, I'm serious. Can you throw someone out there you think would have been better now that you have a good data set? You've now got the entire campaign and election and over a month of him as vice president. I'm not telling you things can't break bad in the future. I'm just telling you, given the data set you have now, could he have made a better choice? Come on, the answer is clearly no. The vice president is a fantastic messenger. And Andrew Breitbart was absolutely correct when he said the politics are downstream of the culture. Folks, you can elect all the great politicians you want. If it's the freaking Tower of Babel and the culture is broken and we're disrespecting our young boys, we're making our young women, I have 2 daughters, feel insignificant, that they're victims all the time. Oh, look, these toxic patriarchal men are going to ruin your life. Really? I got 2 powerhouses right here. Evita's married to Michael. Michael works here. Guys, these guys are running the whole show, man. These guys run this whole thing by themselves. She's now the 34 on this Triton top charts. It's a pairing. It's a pairing. It is an additive thing. You can't have weak men. They're trying to rot this culture out because they know then that the politics doesn't matter, that people are going to fill a hole and they want that hole to be filled with government. It's why they hate religion. There's a killer op-ed, but I think it's Barton Swain in the Wall Street Journal, about exactly this from yesterday. How this liberal wrote this book about how religion was basically destroying our culture and politics. And now this same liberal is admitting that he was wrong, but he's admitting he was wrong for all the wrong reasons. The gist of the whole thing, to keep it simple, is that once you create that vacuum, you divorce people from God, bigger values, a higher cause. You divorce them from dad and the brother and the sister, and you tell them the family don't matter, and the patriarchy's always coming for you, and you're a victim, bro, and everybody's hurting you all the time, and you're looking over your shoulder all the time. You're never going to live your freaking life, man. You're going to constantly be doing Karate Man defensive moves instead of taking the world by the freaking balls and going and doing big things. I just said to Tyler, we were talking before the show, he's sitting in here, man. There it is. It's called It's All Evangelicals' Fault, again, by Barton Swain. Read it. A liberal atheist blames liberalism woes on religious Trump supporters. Read the article. It's worth your time. I just said to Tyler, man, listen, young kids, whenever we were at book signings, parents would come up to me and say, you got some advice for my kid? I'd say, I do. Big people do big things. Little people do little things. Do big things. When you're constantly a victim and you believe this liberal bullshit that everybody's coming for you all the time and you can't beat it, you will be defeated before you even started the game. Play the damn game. Play the game. Get in the game and give it your best effort. The worst thing that can happen is you come out at the end and you drop an L once in a while. It happens. And you dust off and you get back up and you play tomorrow's game even harder and you learn from your damn mistakes. I'm not your preacher, but big people do big things. Small people are victims. Small people are victims. You can manifest good things, folks, and good things will happen. God gave you a brain that thinks positively for a reason. Use it. He gave you vision. Your dog doesn't have vision. I love my dog. Your dog doesn't think about being the king of all dogs. He doesn't even understand what that means. Do big things. Did you see this? The red pilling of everyone's going on everywhere. You know what, Guy? Can we play the national anthem here? I know the game didn't turn out like we expected, but that's fine. USA hockey team put on a great effort. Lost in overtime to the Canadians. Good for you for getting in the damn game. We're proud of you. We'll always be proud of you. Defended America and we love you. But showing you how the red pilling and the culture's changing and everybody's starting to understand that values don't come from government. Values come from something more important than that. Here was the national anthem. We'll play a little bit of this at last night's game. You may not hear the actual singer because everybody's singing with him. Check this out. Guys, can I give you a little piece of life advice for the new fathers out there? When you're at home in your house and you're watching this on TV, this amazing moment, stand up. Let your kids see you. Take your hat off. Put your hand on your heart. I know in the Bongino Army, a lot of you do that already. But when I'm in my house, it's not some show. It's not a virtue signal. I tell my daughter every time, stand up, heels together. I wish my elbow bent a little more. Unfortunately, it's a little below my heart. Put your hand on your heart, chin up. None of this. When they do that, no. Let your kids see it. Let your boys see it. Let your little girls see it. You see that national anthem at a college game, a pro game, a hockey game, I don't care what it is, an equestrian match. You snap those heels together, you stand up straight. Get your gig line in order, put your chin up, hand over your heart, and you don't move until that song is done. And let your kids see it. That's how we change the culture. We change the culture, the politics takes care of itself. I promise you, the politics takes care of itself. I promise you. And thank God we got a president proud of America again in the office. Did you hear his phone call yesterday? This Guy loves this. Guy will choke me out, finger choke. He doesn't know I know the solution for it. He will finger choke me if I don't put this in the show. Here's Donald Trump talking to the hockey team before. The guy, man, I'm telling you, man, he is just on it all the time, everywhere. He loves this country. Check this out.
Well, I'll talk to the guys if they're around.
Yeah, they are. I'm going to walk into the locker room right now, and you can speak to the guys firsthand. Mr. President, can you hear me?
I can. You guys are really talented. I have great respect for hockey players. I'm a hockey fan. I love hockey. The talent, the skill that you have is crazy. And just go out and have a good time tonight. And I just want to wish you a lot of luck. You really are a skilled group of people. It's an honor to talk to you and get out there, and there's no pressure whatsoever.
I can tell you honestly, every person in here, players, staff, management, coaches, we are all proud Americans, and we want to represent our country the best way we can and do our best to bring in a win tonight. Thank you again on behalf of everybody.
You just go out and have a good time. You're going to win. And we love America, and we love you guys. We'll be watching tonight. Bring it home.
Thank you.
Folks, you know, I worked in the White House, man. The president's time is valuable, really valuable. I'm not sure you even understand really valuable. People would, if they could, pay millions of dollars for sit-downs with a president. They would. The president never misses a moment to tell people representing the United States, athletes, whatever, academics, anyone, how much he cares about them when he's up there and talking to them. He loves this country, and it's so evident if you just listen to the guy. And he is having this downstream effect that Andrew Breitbart had talked about over politics, where it's okay to love America again. Not only is it okay to love America again, you can do it proudly and openly, and you don't have to worry. I mean, I heard that story after the election. Well, who was it? Was it Dana Perino or someone saying on Fox? They were walking around Manhattan. I saw people walking around MAGA hats for the first time. Like, people were afraid. Nobody's afraid anymore. The red pilling is everywhere. He's like, everywhere? He's like, what about Buttigieg? Buttigieg? Him too? Guy's like to the left of Lenin. He says he's got evidence that even Buttigieg. I'm not kidding. Here's Buttigieg a while back talking about equity and buses or something like that. I'm going to play that with this clip you're just going to hear from the other day, where even Buttigieg is starting to realize that the Schatz doctrine, you'll see what I mean in a second, may be the way to go. In other words, do really liberal stuff, but you better not talk about it like that anymore because the culture's changing. Check this segment out first.
Meantime, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has not commented on the near collision, though he did comment on Transit Equity Day, which was happening at the very same time the planes in Austin almost collided. Watch.
I love that image of the doors opening on the bus or the subway car, representing doors opening in so many other areas of life, if you can get to where you need to be in an equitable way.
So in an equitable way, we got equitable buses. You got to make sure the buses fit into your whatever LGBTQIA, BIOPC, 2+1A ideological identity politics. And you're like, what are you talking about? It's a freaking box with 4 tires, bro. What are you talking about? That is pre-2024 election Donald Trump. So Donald Trump gets elected. The culture is now rapidly changing, detoxifying itself of toxic masculinity and all this PC crap, woke bullshit, right? And I want you to listen to Pete Buttigieg, how he's talking now. And let me just tell you in advance, he's not really red-pilled. This is the Schatz doctrine. Hold that thought. Or as KJP calls them, the Shorts doctrine. Okay? They're starting to realize right now that the culture war is turning and turning rapidly. So listen to the way this really, really liberal guy, because he's going to run for president 100% the next election. Yeah, so do I. I hope so too. Him and Kamala Harris would be an amazing ticket. Amazing. Winky, winky, nod, nod. Listen to how he talks now. Check this out.
Cannot go on like that. We cannot. I also think that we believe in the values that we care about for a reason. And this is not about abandoning those values. It's about making sure we're in touch with the first principles that animate them. What do we mean when we talk about diversity? Is it caring for people's different experiences and making sure no one's mistreated because of them, which I will always fight for? Or is it making people sit through a training that looks like something out of Portlandia, which I have also experienced, and it is how Trump Republicans are made, if that comes to your workplace with the best of intentions, but doesn't actually get at what actually matters here, what's actually at stake.
Okay, this is the edutainment portion of the show. Hat tip BDP. Education plus entertainment. That's what matters, right? There is this thing going around the Democrat Party. Write this down because you're going to see it everywhere. They're calling it the Schatz doctrine after Brian Schatz, the senator who KJP called Shorts. So we'll call it the Shorts doctrine, right? The Shorts doctrine is this. Do really crazy liberal stuff, transgender sex changes in the military, all this other like really woke, far left, crazy stuff, right? Do it, but don't talk about it like Portlandia, which is that TV show about like liberal crazy stuff. I never watched it, but I assume because I've had to look it up. That's the Schatz doctrine. So I say this because I know what you're thinking. Why are we talking about elections? Because, folks, the midterms are right around the corner. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. They're less than 2 years away, which in political, reverse dog years, everything is like a factor of 7, not times 7, right? It's right around the corner. You are going to see this in swing district, everywhere outside of, like, say, Jasmine Crockett's district, or, a D plus 20 district. You're going to see Democrats talking like this now. Talking like moderate Democrats, even talking like Republicans in many cases. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. It's an act. Look it up, the Schatz doctrine. This Brian Schatz is telling everyone this. Just talk like a normal person, but still do crazy stuff. So for those of you out there still on the fence who may have just tuned into my show, it's an act. The Republican agenda and what we're doing is not an act. We're doing it. The Democrats you're hearing from, it's all an act. Don't fall for this. Here, I'm going to jump ahead. Here's Jasmine Crockett. This is what I mean. First, I'll put that interactive polls thing up. I put this up yesterday. Democrats in Congress are now at an all-time low in approval in Quinnipiac, which is not like some right-wing polling outfit, okay? They're at 22% approval, nearly 70% disapproval. Now, why is that happening? Because they do crazy stuff. They're going to try to talk their way out of this now. But the problem is they're still going to have people like Jasmine Crockett, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Elizabeth Warren to deal with who are out there still saying crazy stuff because her and AOC are doing what I call the show your ass theory. There is still money in crazy stuff and saying crazy stuff. So you're going to see more. And by the way, you're going to see AOC and the squad start to object at all the airtime she's been getting. But Jasmine Crockett needs to keep it up. There's the poll right there. Here's Jasmine Crockett on her take on government money, your tax dollars, and, quote, handouts. Maybe one of the most offensive things you've heard in a long time. Keep this lady on TV, though. She's great. For us, that is. Check this out.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from DOGE back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
I'm sorry.
We are not in the business of giving out money.
Yes. Thank you. Play it again. Sorry. Everything's always bad.
We're not in the business of giving out money.
We're not in the business of. Hold on. Just keep that on hold for a second. There's one other thing I want to address about this. And I'm seriously begging the Democrats, in order to hold on to your very valuable to us Republicans 22% approval rating, which is great for us, terrible for you. You may say, well, what are the Republicans? Well, they're 40%, which isn't great, but it's a whole lot better than 22 Republicans in Congress. And Donald Trump's is far ahead of both of those, right? Please keep this woman on TV. I'm begging you. I'm imploring you. Please. She is the best messenger for the Schatz doctrine, absent the saying crazy stuff, because she wants to do crazy stuff, but she says it too. She cites experts during COVID as an example of like a model we should replicate. Do you realize the experts got everything wrong? Did you see that was it the Yale paper going around about spike protein elevations in people with, quote, long COVID? I encourage you to read it. It's pretty freaking scary stuff. If the robust results turn out to be robust and repeatable, it's really frightening. Did some of you see it? You should look up the Yale researcher report on the spike protein. It's all over the news. I'm applying the Bongino rule to everything because unlike Jasmine Crockett, I actually believe in science. And the experts she keeps citing were wrong, folks, about almost everything. Masks didn't work. Vaccines didn't stop the spread of COVID. Didn't even stop you from getting COVID. No, it did not come out of a pangolin who mated with a butterfly who got bit by a mosquito. None of that happened. Everything they told you was wrong. Droplets, aerosols, everything they got wrong, they publicly bragged about it. And then she goes on to say, we're not in the business of giving you, but like it's their money. This is a woman with no life skills whatsoever, amazingly gets elected to Congress and is lecturing you, hardworking Americans, black, white, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, it doesn't matter. They love identity politics. Lecturing you about we're not in the business of giving you your money back when we find overpayments and fraud. Democrats, please keep this woman on TV. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. There is no better advocate for what you're going to do than this one. I know you're going to try to hide it. Schatz doctrine us. I get it. But now we're exposing the Schatz doctrine on the biggest live stream in conservative politics. It's all an act. Everything she just said, Jasmine Crockett, is everything the Democrats think. Bank on it. Today's show also sponsored by our friends at All Family Pharmacy. Listen, healthcare is a complicated mess here. We know it. You should be able to help protect yourself and your family without jumping through hoops or waiting for permission, right? That's what All Family Pharmacy offers. It's a no-hassle way, I love this company, to get the medications you need. Just complete the form online. A licensed doctor provides the prescription. Your meds ship fast and right to your door. You need ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, emergency antibiotics, other essential medications. Folks, I get a ton of email about this company. So make sure you write this URL down, allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Really important. Let's be real. Last several years show us exactly why you can't rely on insurance companies to have your back. You have to be prepared for whatever comes next. You cannot have all this stuff locked up behind a pharmacy counter. If there's an emergency, the pharmacy is going to close. That's why I trust All Family Pharmacy. I've used them twice on trips I took, vacations. They came in through they rescued me in the clutch. They step up when the system fails you. Take control today. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino10 and you'll get 10% off your order. Do not wait until you need it. Stock up now. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Code Bongino10. All Family Pharmacy and its products are not intended as a substitute for professional medical treatment or advice. Consult with your healthcare provider. All right, fellas, let's go. So back to the question. You guys have a chance in the chat to discuss. Remember that, what was it, the coffee clutch lady in Saturday Night Live? Was that Mike Myers who played that? Discuss, okay? I think Rove is wrong, but I don't think his opinion there is crazy either. The border win, which we'll get to hopefully later in the show, about how you guys okay? Oh, okay. About the dramatic drop in illegal crossings is such a win that it's not the worst idea in the world to maybe take a victory lap over it. However, we have them caught so off guard now. Why give them the chance to even zone in on, say, the border and then fight us back where they can isolate their forces? I think the Rock'em Sock'em Robots is winning. I think we continue. But here's just the last basically 48 hours, folks. Just a quick list, and I got a big show here. The Right Track poll, is the country on the right track, which is a really important poll, is trending in an extremely positive direction. The DHS under Kristi Noem, I'm hearing they're going to start implementing a polygraph program to get these leakers out there who are telling dangerous gang members that there are immigration raids coming. They're inexcusable. Trump has designated the cartels foreign terrorist organizations, gives him a tremendous amount of leeway on the financial asset seizure side. You have the shakeup in Ukraine where he's like, we're done with the status quo. We're going to fix it. That happened yesterday. Kelly Loeffler confirmed SBA. Kash Patel up today, 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure everybody, McGroin crew, I need you guys, email the senators today. I don't care if they said they were a yes, they were a no. We want cash. Donald Trump here's another one I'm going to talk about later in the show. New York wants a congestion tax, a commuter tax. on its middle-class citizens, which will bankrupt them, right? Donald Trump got this crazy Democrat governor in New York, Kathy Hochul, to actually sue him in court for the right to tax people for driving after they already paid a toll, most of them, to get into New York. Jim, you remember New York? Jim listens to the show on the radio. There's only a few ways in. You can get in the Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel, the Midtown Tunnel, the Triborough Bridge. There's a couple freebies, the Queenie Bee, the Queensboro. I think the Williamsburg is still free, but that's it. Everybody else is already paying to get into New York. The governor is suing Donald Trump in court for the right to tax the living crap out of the citizens already paying the toll already. Can you believe how stupid this woman is? This is another, I'm not even done with the winning. I don't want to get bogged down in any moment. The Democrat Congress approval rating, thanks to Chuck Schumer, Jasmine Crockett, and these buffoons and their endless press conferences, is now at a almost all-time low of 22%. The Democrat congressional approval rating. DEI programs are being eliminated from HUD and the Department of Education. Howard Lutnick, Department of Commerce Secretary, confirmed. And Donald Trump signed an executive order, no more federal tax money, which is your tax money, to illegals. Show's over. That's a show right there. I honestly don't need to do anything else. I will, because I enjoy it.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.
I'm not messing with you, bro. That's a whole show. Any one of these items I just talked about, I could do a 20-minute bit on, no problem. The commuter tax thing in New York is probably the best story of all. I know it doesn't sound it. What do I care about? It is so Donald Trump. How he managed to get the left to show their ass on everything. The guy is, he may be the greatest troll of all time. There's nothing like him. But I do have a lot to get to, including a big announcement. Folks, Kash Patel, 1:45 today is the vote. It looks good, but folks, I don't care about what it looks like. I'm a spreadsheets guy. Republican senators, please. The Bongino army, the MAGA army out there, we want Kash. We need this vote down. 1:45 should wrap up while I'm on the radio show. If you want a live reaction today at around 2:05 p.m. Shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. Hopefully, we will have an FBI director. He's going to swear in right away. And ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a cleanup operation, okay? We're going to make the FBI great again. That's what we have to do. Finally, I have a big announcement. Are you ready? This is bananas. Folks, because you guys have been, the Bongino army out there, you guys and ladies out there have been so amazing to me. I didn't want to leave you without content. So my goal has always been, when I say leave without content, I mean, I'm on from 11 to 12 and then I have my radio show. But I know, and I have a lot of friends, I'm not an anti-cable news guy. I watch cable news. And there's going to be a role for cable news in the future. There is. It's not going anywhere. It may have a smaller audience, but cable news is still important. They got millions of viewers. But let's be honest, the digital space is the future. It just is. Your TV in the future is going to be a dumb box. You're just going to download an app and watch whatever you want right there on the dumb box. That's the future. That cable's even doing it. There's an Xfinity app now. That's how most people are getting cable. My goal at this Bongino, with the Dan Bongino kind of publishing and production empire, has always been to give you a competitor to cable news. We launched Evita's show, the early edition with Evita. It has been a huge success. I hope you're following the channel. What is it? Rumble.com/Evita, which is easy enough. Rumble.com/Evita. Right there. Evita's show is one of the #1 launches for a podcast. So because it was such a success, I have been scouting around for talent. And there is someone I've known a really, really long time. She is amazing. I've known Evita through her family. It was obviously a great pick because she has taken the show and just done spectacular things with it. Haley Karania has been a good friend of mine for a long time. If you don't know her, you will. She is an amazing talent. We adore her. It's a different kind of show, but that's okay. We like that. Haley has been amazing. She has gone viral many times on TikTok and elsewhere. She is going to be doing the evening edition show at 6 p.m. We will be launching it very shortly. It's HAYLEYCARONIA. So Anita, if you could look up her social media or Instagram and others, if you guys could follow her now, I'd appreciate it. So we're going to be launching her show, Stat, and you're going to love it. She is super talented. She's a lot of fun to watch. And we've got more for you coming in the future. We are going to give you a full competitor to, we're going to give you stuff all day. Just give me some time. So big announcement. Welcome, Haley, to this team. We're all looking forward to it. It's going to happen quick, too. So get ready. Haley Karanea, Evening Edition. I'm pretty stoked about it. Another new show. You did? Yeah, awesome. We love you guys in the chat. Oh, thank you. Who said congrats? There you go. Okay. Carvania Forest. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. We love you guys. It's all for you. I want to leave you guys. And Rumble's free. You can pay for Rumble Premium, so you don't got to get the mid-roll kind of inserts. That's up to you. We love it if you do, but you don't have Rumble is free. Yeah, but there are ads. They pay, Rumble's an expensive enterprise, so that's how we pay for it. All right, let's get to the show. Folks, I am a big proponent of the Donald Trump plan. There's two particular plans going on because executive orders are great, right? We can all agree Donald Trump has done a lot by executive order. But for those in the chat, who's going to get the first one? What's the problem with executive orders? Anyone in the chat know? There's a pretty significant problem with a lot of upside. The upside is the speed, right? Donald Trump goes like this, signs it, Donald J. Trump, the executive orders implemented pending lawsuits, which we get. There's going to be lawsuits about everything. We understand that. But what's the problem with executive orders? Anyone know? Yes. Got your 6 in Roman numerals says, yes, the next election, the next executive could be a Democrat and just overturn him. Thank you, got your 6. I got your 6 too. You need legislation. Legislation makes the concrete dry. Donald Trump knows this. So does the Congress and the Senate. We need legislation. Donald Trump cannot cut taxes by himself. He can't. He can move things around within the executive branch, hire and fire. The unitary executive is real. He cannot implement legislation himself. There are two. If this is boring, tell me in the chat, shut your freaking pie hole. Thank you, Anita. We love you. You're the best. You're the queen. If this is boring, say shut your freaking pie hole because I'm fascinated by this. The United States Senate, not all of them, but many senators want a 2-bill approach. Border and defense first, which they think will be an easy win. Tax cuts, economy second. The House side, Speaker Johnson's side, which I agree with wholeheartedly, is BS. Put it all in one bill. Donald Trump came out. He's spoken about this on my show. He's kind of said a few times, I don't care either way. Now he's basically all in. He knocks the Lindsey Graham version of the bill, and he says the House resolution, the one bill approach, implements the full America First agenda. Everything, not parts of it. He wants, quote, all caps, one big, beautiful bill. It will, without question, make America great again. Let me explain to you briefly why. One bill is the answer. I know a lot of people up on the Hill like, what the hell does this guy know? Listen, I've been doing this a long time, okay? I'm not stupid. Nobody's read the MAGA crowd better than us, the biggest MAGA show out there. People are ready to back you for big, bold change this 100 days, first 100 days, first month of Donald Trump, and subsequent 100 days are proving it. People are ready for big things. They don't want small bites at the apple pie, okay? They want to take the whole big thing. They're not looking for piecemeal stuff, number one. Number two, the smaller you make the bill, everybody follow me in the chat here, this is important. The smaller you make the bill, the more material you give people within the small bill to object to. If you do a big bill, the things they would have objected to in the smaller bill get scooped up in the big bill, and they have to pick and choose what to object to. Let me just, easier. You put 2 desserts on the table. Someone goes, I like these both, but this one, I'm not so sure I like the color of that whipped cream in the corner. I'm going to pass this one. You put 100 of them on the table, nobody's even going to notice that. Nobody's even going to notice that because it's quick. I got to do one. That's what you do. You hammer this thing while the MAGA crowd wants to change America, is ready to take the bull, forget by the horns, by the balls, and run with this thing. Go, move forward, red line, hit that tachometer, 6th gear that thing, man. We are ready. Donald Trump is political instincts. Come on, Republicans in the House and Senate. You know I don't like Republican on Republican political nonsense, okay? Because it's a waste of time. We got a bigger problem with the Democrats. You know Donald Trump, for all the knocks some of you guys have bad, and you know you do. Some of you guys are badmouth them behind the scenes. Whatever. You do what you want. I'm just telling you, you know his political instincts are better than yours. They just are. They just are. One bill. Get it done. Okay. How do we know Donald Trump's political instincts are good? Well, don't take my word for it, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that you do. I hope my opinion matters. I do a lot of homework. My opinion doesn't mean jack squat and jack left town. You got to back it up with evidence. Here's CNN's Harry Enton on a poll about Trump approval. Don't believe me. Believe CNN. Check this out.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party has changed the electorate. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at party identification, Democrats versus Republicans. You go back to 2017, 5 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. You go to 2021 when Joe Biden was starting out, look at that. 6 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. But look at what's happened in February of 2025. Look at this. Republicans, there are more Republicans in the electorate than there are Democrats. Republican +2. So Donald Trump and the Republicans have remade the electorate. They've turned some people over from being Democrats or independents to become Republicans. New folks have entered the electorate who are more Republican leaning. And so when you combine that with the fact that Republicans are really, really behind Donald Trump, all of a sudden you get a winning recipe whereby you break the normal rules of politics and give Donald Trump that positive net approval rating when he had pretty much a consistently negative one in term number one.
Again, don't believe. I appreciate that you believe me and trust me on the show. We have a pretty solid record of displaying and transmitting facts and data and receipts. But that doesn't mean you get a pass on the next one. You got to back up what you say. To the Republicans in Congress who may have this undercurrent of distrust about Trump's political instincts, I'm just asking you to back it up. If he's saying one big, beautiful bill is better, I trust the guy. The numbers back it up that America is ready for a big, bold, transformational change. Well, one last thing, and Guy thinks I'm being too wordy on this, and it's possible I am, but I'm so fascinated by this. Can you imagine you get this big, bold, beautiful bill out there? The border's closed. The military's funded with high-quality weapons and cleaned out of all the waste. The tax cut goes through. No tax on tips. No tax on Social Security. This is all in one big bill. Regulatory reforms, all of it in one big bill. Donald Trump goes around the country, all over the place. Go to LA too. Does like 5 or 6 big national stops in huge media markets. Folks, this thing will pass with every Republican. You want to be on the wrong side of it? That's how you rock and roll. How do I know you've got a limited opportunity to do this? Data matters. Interactive polls on X. Great account. I enjoy it. Here's a Quinnipiac poll. I mean, again, not some right-leaning pollster. Folks, 22% of voters approve of the way the Democrats in Congress are handling their job. They note that's an all-time low. Republicans have at least a 40, almost double. You've got a window to move now. You've got this huge almost 20 percentage point buffer in approval. Donald Trump is at peak popularity. The Democrats are in disarray. They have no leader. They have no mission. They have no message. They have no nothing. They have zero. One big bill. Do it quick. Do it surgical. Do your rallies. Get the public behind it. In 6 weeks, we could be looking at a changed America with signed legislation and Donald Trump at 55% approval and Republican Congress members at 40, 45, maybe even 50. Do it. Do it now. I got another piece of winning coming up for you after the break and something very sensitive to me. Donald Trump understands there is a big, big role for an unpoliticized constitutional Department of Justice, and we have not had that. More winning on that, too. Wow, new sponsor. Welcome, Ramp. Ramp.com/Bongino. Maybe asking, well, what's Ramp? I'm going to tell you. I know what expense chaos looks like. For me, it's like receipts and invoices from multiple different places, subscriptions you don't even remember signing up for. What is that? Happens all the time. It's a nightmare. Ramp helps take care of all that. Ramp. It's a free corporate card that handles tedious financial operations automatically so your finance team can focus on what actually moves the needle: forecasting, strategic planning, and driving growth. Ramp also real-time feeds into NetSuite, automated receipt matching, custom approval workflows, everything you need for bulletproof books. Make your life simple. Switch to Ramp. It's easy. For new members, Ramp, R-A-M-P, offers a complimentary white glove onboarding service to help you migrate from your current corporate card to start using Ramp. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just #1 in spend management by G2. And now, for a limited time, Dan Bongino Show listeners can get a $250 gift card when you join Ramp. How do you do it? You go to ramp.com/Bongino, R-A-M-P, ramp.com/Bongino, ramp.com/Bongino. Check them out. Support our sponsors. Cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you, Ramp. Welcome. Good to have you. So, this is an issue sensitive to me. The updates from last night, he calls this the Trump Truth updates, because if you're not paying attention like these guys to Donald Trump's Truth account, you're missing out on all the goodies. Donald Trump is now firing all of the, quote, Biden-era U.S. attorneys. We must clean house immediately and restore confidence. America's golden age has to have a fair justice system. That begins today. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the left, how many times we got to talk about it? We can use it. We've used this title of the show, 50 times? Because it's so appropriate almost every single day. The hair's on fire, the wetting of the diapers. It's really embarrassing. Folks, what we call AUSAs and USAs. U.S. attorneys, I know in USAs, the United States of America's. No, it's U.S. attorneys in the law enforcement field. And AUSAs, Assistant United States Attorneys. They serve at the pleasure of the president. These are not civil service type employees. These are not administrators. These are political appointees. Donald Trump has every right to let them go. Joe Biden did the same thing. It's not an argument. Let the media melt down. They're embarrassing themselves. It doesn't matter. I just wanted, the only reason I'm discussing this story, because I feel like if it's not a big deal and they do this all the time, why are you talking about it? Because there's a bigger story here. It's about AUSAs, but it's about the new Republican Party. And it's this. If you're bored right here, go put in a search engine, George Bush, United States Attorney scandal. Scandal, with air quotes, right? George W. Bush fired some U.S. attorneys too. And do you remember? It was like this really big, quote, scandal. This goes to show you, you are the media now. It was a fake scandal. George W. Bush, whether you loved him or him, had every right to fire U.S. attorneys. Happens all the time. But because the media declared it a scandal, it actually became a scandal because they can make up fake news. And that was the only thing you had back then was fake news. Now, a story like this, do you notice the media, that the response to this has been almost null and void because of the rock'em sock'em robot strategy? This is why I disagree with Rove's piece. This is why you just keep hitting them. You're not even going to hear about this. It'll be a non-story the minute cash is approved today. This was a huge, I'm going to say 2-week story when George W. Bush was president, maybe more. They're just not the media. The media is not the driver of the national narrative anymore, folks. They're just not. You're the media now. You know why this story is important? Because it's not. Does that make sense? This story is important because it's not important. It happens all the time. And in the past, it would have been a scandal. All right, moving on. The W's are just piling in. I told you in the beginning of the show with the can't stop winning thing that Karl Rove, he has a piece in the Journal. We discussed it earlier, but there's this two competing ideas now in D.C. The winning is actually coming so fast, people are starting to wonder, like Karl Rove, kind of old school Republicans. I get it, but I'm just giving you multiple perspectives. This is why we're better than them. Like we see their side, but they don't see ours. They just see us as a bunch of crazies, even though we keep winning. It's not a crazy theory when you think about it, that maybe we should slow down the wins and maybe do a national tour about success at the border. Personally, I don't agree with that. I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time, to use the stupid cliche I hate, but whatever, you all get the point. It's a win-win. It's a win-win, right? This is like cliche time now, right? I like rock'em sock'em, right? And I think it's working because of the AUSA story, which is a non-story. But I want to give you the actual numbers because they're so ridiculously good that they're almost hard to believe that it does make you think maybe we should take a breath even for a weekend and do like a border tour. Here is Paul Perez, the CBP rep. He's on a cable news channel here talking about the border numbers. It's almost hard to believe how quickly Donald Trump shut the border. It's amazing. Check this out.
I've been with Border Patrol since the INS days back in 1997, so going on 28 years. And this is definitely trending to be the most secure border that I've ever worked under because of Donald Trump's policies and everything that he's put in place to secure the border. It's working, and those numbers actually tell that story.
Folks, they're ridiculous. I saw some number yesterday. They were like 260 encounters at the border. They were thousands, tens of thousands. It's insane. It's almost like illegal immigration as effectively like stopped. Which I know you in the chat are like, hey, Dan, get your head out of your ass. Of course it stopped. I don't need to. You're right. I understand what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. That once you get a president in there who says, hey, newsflash, border's closed. You come here, you're getting deported, arrested. That's it. And we'll fly you right back out of here. So you're wasting your time? Shocker. Air quotes, right? Nobody shows up. This isn't hard. This isn't hard. But you got to mean it. That's the thing. Because, again, Bongino Army, you may say, well, Dan, Alejandro Mayorkas, Biden's DHS secretary, said the border was closed too. Yeah, but everybody knew he didn't mean it. They just showed up at the border and it wasn't closed. It's like telling everyone in the HOA in your neighborhood, hey, man, my doors are locked, and then you leave your doors unlocked. The doors still got to be locked or else people eventually going to break into your house. Another big W yesterday as we constantly rack up the wins. He calls them the dubs. The dubs are piling up. You guys, is that camera not work? Oh, yeah. We have two cameras in here. You ever see the side shot? We can't even show you the side shot anymore because everybody moved everything out of the studio. Everything's like gone. It's like a ghost town other than a monitor. You're going to love the new studio, by the way. Here's another big W yesterday. Donald Trump and his team at the State Department under Marco Rubio has officially designated the following as foreign terror organizations. You can see Tren de Aragua, MS-13, Sinaloa cartel. Listen to the drug cartels. There's a new sheriff in town, man. He may not be officially titled the sheriff, but I think you get the point. When Donald Trump declares you an FTO, foreign terror organization, there's a real consequence to that. Your assets, money, all this stuff that you're hiding in banks, and anyone who may be supporting you can be subject to almost like RICO-style investigations. So this is not some just PR thing. Oh, look, let's call them terror organizations to make it look like we're serious. Folks, there's a real penalty to this. This is Donald Trump saying you're not going to poison our kids anymore with fentanyl. Not on my watch. There's going to be a real penalty, and it may involve death. I'm just telling you, once the military gets involved and the drones, they're not going to be an easy fight. You know, I saw my good friend Jesse Kelly on Twitter, very patriotic history of military service himself, so he knows. Jesse's got his own radio show, but Jesse wrote, listen, it's not going to be an easy fight. This isn't going to be, these cartels are very, very well armed and trained very well. This isn't this isn't like Sicario or whatever. This is going to be a real big deal. It's not a movie. If you've seen a movie, you know what I'm talking about, right? But it's a step. It's a step. And Donald Trump is sending a message, just like he did at the border. We're not screwing around. I've got more W's, the Trump tariffs, and I want you to listen in this soundbite coming up next. I'll take a quick break here. But I want you to listen in the soundbite because, again, all the economists attacking Donald Trump on tariffs, I've said before, I don't like tariffs. I haven't changed my mind on tariffs. I do like tariffs as a negotiating tool. And that's why you got to listen. Listen to what he's saying. Last break, and we got a ton more content for. You guys are right. There's going to be so much left over. It's ridiculous. Hey, I feel like everything's gotten more expensive these days, but not top-of-the-line hearing aids from MD Hearing. MD Hearing recently cut their price in half. I just gave a pair of these, by the way. This woman friend of ours who helps us out around the house. MD Hearing just made their Neo rechargeable digital hearing aids only $297 a pair. It's over 90% less than clinic hearing aids. The Neo fits inside your ear, so no one will even know it's there. Plus, MD Hearing just launched the Neo XS, MD Hearing's smallest hearing aid ever. $297 for a pair of hearing aids this good is crazy. MD Hearing has sold over 2 million hearing aids. They're offering a 45-day risk-free trial with a 100% money-back guarantee. MD Hearing was just selected to be the hearing aid supplier for top Medicare Advantage plans, so they're a brand you can trust. Get the high-quality, affordable hearing aids you deserve with MD Hearing. Go to shopmdhearing.com and use promo code PATRIOT to get a pair of hearing aids for just $297. Plus, they're adding a free extra charging case, $100 value just for listeners of my show. That's shopmdhearing.com. Use our promo code PATRIOT and get a pair of hearing aids for just $297. Thanks, MD Hearing. And our last sponsor, Blackout Coffee. You know it's my coffee of choice. Matter of fact, right now, it is the official coffee of the Bongino Army. But why? Folks, I believe in the parallel economy. That's where it's at. I believe in the parallel economy, the freedom economy, the liberty economy, the America First economy. And John and Blackout Coffee, he owns the place. They absolutely love America. But it's important. Loving America means working hard, produce a good product too. Blackout Coffee uses premium beans. They ship fresh within 48 hours of roasting. Their regular coffees are amazing. Their flavored coffees are amazing. The cinnamon French toast, the dark chocolate, absolutely outstanding. See what I'm talking about. Blackout's the real deal. Stop drinking that woke corporate coffee. These people don't even like us. And the coffee tastes like crap too. Blackout Coffee, delicious, bold, never bitter coffee. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino or use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee. You're going to love it. Okay, back to the show. I want you to listen here. While we're on the topic here, just to ground ourselves again, of big Trump W's and this winning theory. I'm just going to put this in. I don't want to forget to talk about this later on radio. Do we slow the winning down and take a victory lap? Or do we keep the winning coming? Keep it coming, because they cannot focus on one specific thing, and it's having a real material impact on them. I will say one thing, though, and tell me if you agree in the chat. Here is the one condition. You know, we got Rock'em Sock'em, right? The one condition where I would say take the Rock'em Sock'em, place him down, and ask him to go to sleep for a minute. The one condition I would have is if we pass this big, bold, beautiful bill, tax reform, regulatory reform, border reform, military cleanup. If we pass that, then I would take a week or so to do a victory lap. Do you agree? You may think I'm crazy. You may say, screw it, Dan, next day, hit him with another. Okay. That's the one time. I think that's so big. Michael, you agree? That you take, maybe not a week. Maybe you sign on a Monday, and by Wednesday you go Rock'em Sock'em again. But you got to take a few days to celebrate that. That would be freaking huge. But one of the things in there is going to be economic reform. And they're knocking Trump, these economists, on tariffs. Folks, I agree. I love economics. Wow. No, keep it. Look at this. Wow, let me just stop this. Nope. Who said it here? Let's give someone a shot. Here, always on McGroin. Always. That's someone of our McGroin. Always is like a rock star in the McGroins. Always says, keep it coming. I've never been overwhelmed with such negativity on a comment on my own channel. Okay. You guys win. I'm wearing my Bongino Army shows for you. It's not for me. I don't know it all. You want to keep hitting them? So you're just so we're clear. You're suggesting sign the bill on a Monday at what? We do a signing. What's a good media cycle? 3 p.m. 3 p.m. A lot of people, wrapping up the day, but they're getting by 3:01. We're out there hitting them again. Okay, I'm game. You know, to talk me right back. Just right back again. Okay, I'm cool with that. I just think that's such a big deal that to just go and do a quick little victory tour for a couple of days and to just show people what we just did. But okay, moving on. One of the things is going to be economic reform. I want you to listen to Trump on tariffs. Yes, he believes in tariffs. I'm not a huge believer in tariffs. We do have to get tax revenue from somewhere. The problem I see with tariffs is it's a $25 million income base we're dealing with, which I hate the income tax. I want to be clear. It's only three, what is it, 25 trillion? And it's 3 on the other end. So there's not a lot of kind of feathers to pluck from the goose there, right? But tariffs are an unbelievable negotiating tool to use. Listen at the end. This is why Trump is so damn good at this. He makes you believe that this is going to happen, and it's got to be a credible threat. And then at the end, he says, listen, in this, we're talking about auto tariffs, but give them some time to move here. Check this out.
Decided specifically what the auto tariff rate should be?
Yeah, I probably will tell you that on April 2nd, but it'll be in the neighborhood of 25%.
What about semiconductors and pharmaceuticals?
It'll be 25% and higher, and it'll go very substantially higher over a course of a year. But we want to give them time to come in because, as you know, when they come into the United States and they have their plant or factory here, there is no tariff.
Folks, you see why he's better at this than I am? He just is. I ran for office. I didn't win. He won. He won 3 times. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you. He's really good at this. I know Donald Trump pretty well, but I wouldn't say we're like coffee buddies or anything. I don't want to exaggerate my relationship. You know, I hate that. When people are like, hey, Trump's my buddy. I hate that. It sounds so stupid, like name dropping like that. But I know him well enough, and I'm telling you, looking right in the camera, I honestly don't know how serious he is about tariffs. I don't. There's a side of me that thinks he really believes it, and a side of me that's like, he's got to know what they do. But that's the gift in this. It's not the curse. Do you understand? Because if you don't believe the tariff is a real threat, the tax on say you're Joe's Motor Company, and you're selling cars in Mexico and building them in Mexico, but exporting some into the United States, the tariff 25%, if your car's $1,000, whatever, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be $1,250 if you don't compensate on the price side because it's 25% more. So the company knows it's going to lose market share. So they're incentivized to say, hey, screw it, we're just going to build in the United States. That's the beauty of the whole thing, that when you use a tariff as a negotiating tool, he may move some of this production right back here to the United States, what would mean jobs, capital investment elsewhere. You get it, folks? Because it's a fair enough critique to say, Dan, you can't have it both ways where tariffs are good things and bad things. I'm not. A tariff's a tax, period. However, we do have to get taxes from somewhere. And if we can use that as a vehicle to get production here, then I'll take it. I'll take it. You listen to him at the end. You got to listen to everything Donald Trump says. Here is the biggest W. If this story sucks, everybody in the chat, who said I get it there? Red State Deplorable. Good, I get it too. Do you hate this story about New York? If you do, I won't cover it. I love this story, and I don't want to cover it just because I was from New York. I think this story is, if you are still confused about how Donald Trump rolls and how he constantly gets the left to like show their ass to the public, you will not be confused after this story. How he gets these people to do the dumbest things possible because they hate him is the most remarkable skill I've ever seen. Folks, they hated George W. Bush. They hated Mitt Romney. They hate every Republican. But I've never seen them act so tactically inept. Here's the story. Put this up at the New York Post. Donald Trump cancels basically the New York City congestion pricing. Big hat tip to Secretary Duffy at the Department of Transportation as well. They basically said, you can't do it. Sorry, they need approval first, and we're not giving it to you. Congestion pricing is a very, very simple concept. If you were going to drive into a congested traffic area of Manhattan, New York City wants to charge you another toll. I want you to keep in mind, I am from New York. To get into Manhattan, most of the crossings are already tolled. Well, producer Jim just sent this to me. He looked it up. The Verrazano Bridge, which comes from Staten Island, is currently $11.19. You're already paying more than $11 to enter Manhattan. The Midtown Tunnel, all of this stuff, you're already paying. Manhattan wants to charge you more. And here's the thing. It's going to be about $9, but when traffic gets bad, it's going to be even more. Oh, you do? You know what? Play Duffy, and then I'm going to tell you on the other side, what? Get ready. This is an important segment. why this story, which seems so regional and stupid, like, oh, who cares? It's not. It is probably the biggest faceplant the Democrats have done yet. Check this out.
Why can't New York City determine what it wants to charge for people to come in and out?
So we give them the authority, number one. And so the American taxpayer, the New York taxpayer, funded those streets. And the way the governor set this up is, she said, even though you already paid for these streets, you can't use those streets unless you pay an additional toll. Well, if I'm the taxpayer, I'm like, I already paid for the street. Why am I paying an additional toll to the taxes I already paid? There's no free pathway into that cordoned area, right? So if you're a middle income or a lower income shopper or worker, you can't access public roads by any means into this area. That's flat out wrong. And we've never had a program like that where there's not a free public road to get in to a certain area.
No, you guys are wrong. This is a total side debate. She absolutely, Evita 100% has her dad's eyes. Put up a screen. Come on. They're arguing over here. Michaels obviously knows Evita well. They're like married and stuff. But Evita Duffy, of course, our morning show. Well, Sean's her dad. You're telling me, look at Sean's eyes and look at it. Can you get a picture of Evita? They're like, oh, it doesn't look anything like her dad. Oh, yes, she looks like Rachel, her mom, a lot. But tell me that's not her dad's eyes. Come on. 100. There's Sean. Okay? And then that is 100% his daughter. 100% the eyeballs. 100%. Look at the eyes. She got the same eyes. Folks in the chat, please chime in. These guys are crazy. Heck yeah, we just said it. Patty84. The same. It's the same eyes. Of course, yes, she looks like her mom, but she definitely got her dad's eyes. But getting back, I didn't even, thank you for playing that clip. Shame on me. Shame, Game of Thrones style. Start throwing Rotten Tomatoes at me. I didn't even think of that angle. The New York City residents already paid for the damn road. It's not a private road. It was funded by their tax. They already own it. So think about this. Donald Trump comes in, congestion tax canceled by everybody. Let me read you a text from my brother, who, by the way, wasn't a big Republican in the past, but is a huge Trump supporter now. Hold on. I got to show you. I got to play. This is him yesterday. New York yesterday. Yeah, New York just came out at me because I was talking about my brother. Dude, Trump's post on, this is an exact one, on Truth about canceling congesting pricing is epic, 5 exclamation points. It's driving Hochul nuts. Neighbors love this. Long live the king. Effing awesome, all caps. That's my brother up in New York, you local 3 electrician. The union guy, they're all they love Trump for this. So Trump gets an epic political win, number one. Number two, this was a tax that was going to hammer the middle class. Ladies and gentlemen, rich people love taxes like this. They do? Yes, they do. You know why? What's the most valuable thing rich people have? Folks in the chat, what is it? What's the most valuable thing rich people have? Anyone know? Someone's got to get this. Yes! Stevia girl. Time. You think a rich guy worth 500 milli gives a shit about a $9 tax? He doesn't care. He's like, wait, so this is going to keep a bunch of people off the roads? Great. The irony of this thing is it screws the middle class. And the third win out of it, not the win here is that the messaging thing, the Democrats are backwards. The third win is the crazy New York governor is going to sue him in court for the right to tax the shit out of middle class people. This is insane. Folks, this is the greatest story to highlight the collapse of the Democrat Party we've ever seen. You want another one? You know I love this guy, Peter St. Onge. He does great videos on economics. You should check him out on X. It's Peter, common spelling, Stonge. Very, very good account. He does really hard-hitting videos. Very good on the economic stuff. He did a video the other day about another example of how the Democrat Party, just like this New York congestion pricing story, is so afraid. This is why I disagree with the Karl Rove approach of slowing down. It's working, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It's just working. Don't slow down. Full speed ahead. This is what happened the other day. Donald Trump, along with a lot of Americans, I would argue a majority, at minimum a plurality, of Americans are getting very frustrated with the Ukrainian war. Nobody saying Ukraine deserves this. We're not knocking the Ukrainian people at all. Don't read this the wrong way. However, Zelensky has really he's completely let you down. The messaging, attacking Donald Trump after all the United States has done to support the mission over there was really a stupid move. The Democrats, because Trump is now starting to question, hey man, Zelensky, you want to end this thing or not? He's got the Democrats messaging now that they're the war party, which is crazy because, Michael, you're like a more libertarian guy like me, right? We've been questioning this for years. Like, why is the United States involved in basically every continent on earth, losing our own people for other people's missions that they don't want to do themselves? You know how many people feel that way? You've got Democrats, Bernie Sanders bros asking that question. Trump now has the Democrats. Now they're like the warmonger party. This is crazy. In one day, bro, he's got the Democrats suing in court to tax the shit out of the middle class. And he's got the Democrats advocating for like endless wars all over the world. Here's St. Ange on J.D. Vance's speech to EU and how J.D. Vance just set the world on fire with this. In a good way. They need a little. Everybody needs a shakeup. Check this out.
Last week, Vice President J.D. Vance visited Europe and dressed them down like naughty children for Europe's rising authoritarianism, ranging from censoring their own people to literally canceling elections they don't like. The European establishment was aghast. The conference organizer in Munich cried. The German defense minister fumed that defending free speech is, quote, unacceptable. Bloomberg, meanwhile, lamented that, quote, the transatlantic alliance as we know it is dead. We can always dream. JD was speaking at a military conference in Munich. Perhaps the Europeans thought they would get another couple tens of billions from Uncle Sucker. Instead, JD came heavy, criticizing the EU's recent cancellation of an election in Romania because the populace won, while Germany mulls a ban on the second most popular party in the country, the AfD, also for the crime of being populist, adding, quote, if you're running in fear from your own voters, there's nothing America can do for you. In other words, if you keep censoring, we can't be friends. The sclerotic authoritarians in Europe have painted themselves into a corner. Their economies are moribund. They haven't had an innovation in roughly a century, and they've become a left-wing welfare queen living on handouts from American taxpayers. As much as they would love to tell JD and Trump to take a hike, they cannot.
Peter goes for it. And maybe you needed to hear that. We're not going to be Uncle Sucker anymore. I'm sorry, but we're not going to do it. The U.S. taxpayer, and by the way, for those out there on the left saying, oh, what are we, cowards going to retreat from the world? Whoa, 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 whoa. WTF over us? You mean the United States that rescued Europe from that thing called World War I? Oh, why is it called World War I and not just the World War? Anybody know? Any of you guys know? That's it. Michael is a math major. It's great because there's a second one. And we had a little role in that too, I think. Just my poor grandfather fought over there. Scarred him the rest of his life. I lost an uncle, Gregory Ambrose, sitting on that wall, that Vietnam Memorial Wall. Never met him in my life. He's my mother's older brother. So before you start lecturing us, we've been there. Who do you think kicked Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait? We're always there. And you know who gives out? What did we get? Did we get any money out of it? We got nothing. You know what we get? We get body bags as we bust our ass to shuttle money. They say, you didn't deserve this war. Nobody's saying that. But you damn well better give us some exit plan here. Because there's war and conflict around the world, and the United States can't solve all of it. And Donald Trump wants to know with the EU, hey, man, when are you guys going to step the up? You know, this NATO alliance we have is really the U.S. The German military is collapsing. Look it up. It's a fraction of what it should be. You've got the UK saying, hey, we'll send troops over, but we need a U.S. guarantee. The UK's out of the EU now, but you get, I mean, guys, you got to do it sooner or later. You got to show us over here that you're willing to fight for yourselves. Now, I'm going to do you a favor here. It's important. Take a breath on this because I don't want to mess this up. Yesterday's show was very popular. We're still having a problem, I think, with the live stream counter, but the VOD on-demand numbers have been fantastic for us. Yesterday's show was really popular because I explained to you what I think is going on in Donald Trump's head, why he has a general distrust of Zelensky. If you missed the opening of yesterday's podcast, you need to go back and watch it. Matter of fact, I don't even mind if you stop now, pick it up again later, and watch that first. Donald Trump does not trust Zelensky because of Zelensky and UK members of parliament and elsewhere who were knee-deep in the collusion hoax. The Russia collusion hoax that was used to target Trump was started in Ukraine. Period. It was. And it filtered its way into Hillary Clinton, okay? It started in Ukraine. The impeachment hoax started with a call to Zelensky in Ukraine, which he didn't help us with. He could have cleared it up right away, and he didn't. Like it or not, that's one of the reasons Donald Trump doesn't trust this guy, because he's been untrustworthy on issues. He still hasn't cleaned up the impeachment thing and told people, hey, this Hunter Biden stuff was real. Trump was right to call me about it. That's all he has to say. He still hasn't fully cleared it up. Dan, why are you repeating yesterday's show? Because I'm trying to set the groundwork because why Donald Trump doesn't trust the EU either. Do you remember this article? I want you to look at the date. I put it on my show probably 100 times. You should bookmark this article. April 14th, 2017. So right after Donald Trump, a few months after he swore into office for his first term. CNN Politics. British intelligence passed Trump associates' communications with Russians onto U.S. counterparts. Leave that up for a minute, please, guys. Pregnant pause for a reason. Folks, my first book, Spygate, on this spying collusion hoax, this article appears in the book multiple times. Why would CNN write an article about the illicit, immoral, and potentially illegal passing of what was fake intelligence, a Russian collusion hoax, onto their U.S. counterparts, who then used it to what I think potentially commit crimes and create this fake story? Why would CNN admit that? That the intelligence communities were basically working against Donald Trump, and some of them involved the UK and EU countries. Why would they admit it? Because back then, ladies and gentlemen, CNN thought it was real. They really believed Donald Trump was colluding with the Russians. It's an insane story, but because they were so crazy, Shudo and Pamela Brown and Bradner, who wrote this piece, they really believed their sources on this. So they wrote the article like, oh my gosh, this is so serious that the British intelligence services have information. Folks, all this stuff was garbage. It was poppycock. It was crap. It wasn't information. It was like a phone call. It was like Alpha Bank garbage. Now do you see why Donald Trump doesn't trust fully people across the pond and elsewhere about security matters and NATO? Because in his head, he knows a lot of these same people who are not funding NATO attacked him in the past. I'm not telling you it's going to get in the way of him doing whatever turns out to be the right thing in the end. I'm just trying to explain to you a little internal Trump psychology, given my best guess on why he doesn't trust Zelensky. Some in the UK, although he's been talking pretty nicely about Starmer, which I'm not a huge Starmer fan, but I get what he's got to do, and people in the EU. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. Bookmark that article. It's one of the most important articles you're ever going to read. This is the start of this whole Russia collusion thing and how the media bought in on it. All right, let me move on to one more. We have time? Yeah, we have time more. Folks, let me see. I want to jump ahead here. Like, can we go to the Maha thing, the Cali Means guy? I want to end with this. Folks, you know I'm a life hacks guy. On my weekend show, we got the life hack segment again this weekend on my podcast, rumble.com/Bongino. But did you guys see, I want to leave you in a good mood. Did you see this on CNN? CNN desperately tries to shut this guy down as he starts citing the conflicts of interest of all the people attacking RFK for genuinely trying to make America healthy again. You see how the guy looks? What is he, like 70 years old? He looks like he's like 20 years old. I'll take his advice. I don't need that last one we had in office before. I need RFK. Watch this segment. It's good stuff.
About childhood vaccines, number one. He talked about electromagnetic radiation, number two. He talked about pesticides. He didn't talk about the things that Callie's talking about here, which is things like obesity or over-medicating children or sugar drinks. I'm all for that. I agree with that. But you can have both.
He gave a powerful speech about these issues. This is what Bobby Kennedy's fighting against, Dr. Offit. As you know, you were the chair at the Children's Hospital, the Merck chair. It was like a NASCAR driver wearing their sponsors. Merck paid your $1.5 million salary. And this is what Bobby's saying, is that fundamentally, pharma can create good innovations, but they're foundationally incentivized for children to be sick. Pharma doesn't make money when children are healthy. The hospitals don't make money when the beds are empty. Chronic disease, just as a demonstrable statement of economic fact, is a great economic invention for the healthcare industry, which demonstrably makes money when patients are sick. And that's an incentive Bobby Kennedy is going hard after.
I'm reading the chat because who just said it? Bass Chica, Kaylee dropping knowledge is my oh my gosh, dropping knowledge, nuclear Moab, mother of all bombs. I mean, how do you, the guy's just sitting there in stunned disbelief. I'm bringing it up because there's going to be a lot of pushback from a lot of big money people about Bobby Kennedy's efforts to talk about what are we doing. You know what, folks, before we start medicating the hell out of people, Bobby's approach is going to be the secretary. Hey, man, are we cleaning up our diets? Are we pushing exercise in schools? What are we doing first to keep our brains frosty as we get older? Can we then get to the medication stuff later? Let's clean up the big stuff first. Folks, we got a lot of big things happening. All makes sense in the coming days.